Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com here. Hurricane Outlook and Discussion time, Saturday, July 18th, 2020. Things are pretty quiet, so this will be fairly brief today. Let's take a look as we start off with a satellite animation of the eastern Pacific and parts of the western Atlantic basin. Not a lot in the way of convection anywhere around this area, just a few scattered pockets here and there. We are going through what is called the suppressed phase of a Kelvin wave, basically fancy way of saying that the air is generally sinking. We have subsidence. That air dries out, it warms up. That's not conducive for development, and as such, we're not really going to see anything either here in the Atlantic, we'll put an A for Atlantic, or in the Pacific, P for Pacific. Nice and quiet over the next several days, it does appear. Shifting east just a little bit, actually a lot, all the way out to the west coast of Africa where the monsoon trough still nice and prominent, but the lack of moisture and humidity, which is moisture, throughout this region, and I'll show you that in just a moment. The lack of it is really what's holding things back, and I'll be able to show you a really good example of that in just a couple of minutes. You notice that the island's really good shape here, no appreciable precip. Organized areas of precip heading your way, just a few pop-up showers here and there. A little bit of a disturbance tangled up down here in the Florida Straits, the Bahamas, in and around Florida, situated over those very, very warm upper sea surface temperatures, 89, 90 degrees in some cases, Fahrenheit. Crazy, but nothing looking like that it's going to organize out of that anytime soon. And we can see this on the vorticity signature. And basically what this shows us, do any of these cloud clusters that we see have much organization with them? And the answer is no. It's kind of spread out like you see out here, kind of loosely organized here, little impulse here, not much at all in and around Florida. So nothing bundling that energy and what we call the conservation of angular momentum, where anything that's round in the weather on our planet especially, it's usually pretty fierce. The rounder something is, the more circular it is, and the more symmetrical it is, it's usually pretty intense. And when energy is spread out over a large area, like you have here, up here in Canada, out here over the Atlantic, that energy is dispersed over a large area. It's not concentrated like we see in a tropical cyclone, and so this helps us to see beneath the clouds in terms of what any organization may or may not look like. And right now, there's not much organization at all out there, which is typical for this time of the year. So this is interesting. I'm always browsing around to see what people are talking about. The age of social media, while it has its downside, it also has a lot of positives if you know who to follow and who not to follow. It's pretty simple. I like to follow people that are as smart as or smarter than me. That's what I try to do. And Eric Webb is one of those people, and he's posting this graphic here from weathermodels.com about the main development region. And here's what he is saying right here, that the MDR, the main development region, is even warmer than 2017 right now. Very impressive, and that is indeed a fact. This is the area that we're talking about, generally speaking, right through here. Look at all of those reds and oranges. Those are positive anomalies. That means that the temperatures are warmer than the long-term average or normal, and a pretty good clip. I mean, it's getting there. I'm going to show you this graphically in just a moment. And so let's look and see what it looked like in 2017. There you go. This is the same time period, snapshot from 16th of July 2017. Yeah, you can definitely notice. Here it is now, here it was roughly 3 years ago, and the heat down in the deep tropics is pretty exceptional. In fact, look at that, there's less, it's still pretty toasty up here in the subtropics, but we had a lot more of that back in 2017, and we had less of a focus of the warm anomalies down in the deep tropics in 2017. It's kind of reversed this year. So that leads me to believe, as a lot of us think, that we will have quite an active period of tropical waves that come off and to develop into hurricanes, coming in all kinds of directions. You just never know, but I think they're going to be there. And all of this warm water, especially since it's warmer than average, will help to fuel that. It's not complicated. That's what we're looking at. And another way to see it, graphically here, plotted on a chart. This is from Levi Cowan's website, tropicaltidbits.com, and that is quite an impressive jump. We had the Saharan air layer come in here and kind of knock things down with not only the dust blocking some of the sunlight, but the agitation of the sea surface, stronger trade winds. That was pretty prevalent during this period here, and then that has since let up. The Western African monsoon has taken over, and sea surface temperatures are rebounding. Now, the average in the MDR, the main development region, is a half a degree Celsius above the long-term average. And you might not think that's much, but when it comes down to energy, that is a lot. That is very, very significant. All right, so anything coming up to be worried about, concerned about? I don't like you worrying, but concerned, looking out for, whatever? No, there's not. That's the short answer. So let's just see what's happening. This is the Euro, and this is today's 12Z run. Let me outline what's what. Let's use blue. West coast of Africa over here. East coast of the United States over here. There's Florida, Mexico, South America, etc. Here's our islands down through there. What are we looking for? Again, we're looking to see if any of these yellow areas try to consolidate. And there's a little tropical wave sitting in there, probably another one there, maybe another one moving through here. Do any of them come together and bundle that energy? This is the initial conditions, 24 hours out. So this is tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. So we're now 96, there's 120. So this will be interesting to see. Maybe a little bit of a chance of something trying to get going. You see the vorticity very small, but you see the counterclockwise nature to the wind flags in there, those wind barbs. And it closes off a little height line. That's south of this very strong subtropical ridge. We know that the water temperatures are warmer down here than average. So maybe by day 5 something tries to get going. Looks like it's day 4 to day 5. And then by day 6 it starts to wane away. Day 7 maybe coming back just a little bit there. So within a week to 8 days, 8-9 days, something like that, you folks here in the islands will want to be watching for at least a tropical wave, and that can bring heavy rain, gusty winds. And look, you can see the sharp nature to the wind flags through here. And this is 5,000 feet up in the atmosphere, a little tropical wave sitting right in there. Very easy to pick out if you know what you're looking for. It's what I'm here for, is to try to help you see it. And so this will be interesting to watch. This is 1 week from today. Towards the end of the month is July 25th, so we'll see. Maybe the tropical weather outlook from the Hurricane Center in the next few days will start to pick up on this. We shall see. It's still a little early for the main development region to come to life. This area out here usually starts in early August, but that doesn't mean we haven't had development in July. It's certainly possible. Anyway, something to keep an eye on, maybe bringing some squally weather, etc., to the islands in about 8 days, maybe 9 days, something like that. Far enough out in time, we'll keep watching it. So what's holding things back? Not that anybody's complaining necessarily. I think we can all agree. Once the hurricanes start, and they do come, I think they're going to come fast and furious. So let's enjoy the quiet time. So what's making it so quiet? Another really nice map here, this too from Tropical Tidbits. West coast of Africa, right over here. And again, here's eastern North America over here. I'll outline this for you. We're going to leave this up for just a moment. All right, this brown color that we have all through here, dry air for the most part. Relatively dry. The humidity values are pretty low, below 50% or so. And the darker brown, we're really getting down there. Some of these humidity levels in here, 5 and 10%. Holy cow, that's like out west, right? And then these greens, conversely, are more humidity-laden areas, is one way to put it. There's more humidity in the green, put it that way. And so right now, this is from the GFS model. See that right there. And this is the humidity at about the 700 to 400 millibar range. So it's a layer in the atmosphere, and it's an important layer. And the lack of moisture all through here is very important. That really stifles what we call the thermodynamic process. Without the humidity and the moisture, there's just nothing, the atmosphere is basically capped. That's one way to look at it. So this is what it looks like today. There's our tropical wave and humidity and showers and thunderstorms over portions of Florida and the Straits and the Bahamas. There's that monsoon trough sitting off the coast of Africa. And just real quick, back to the satellite picture, that's what we're looking at in the humidity map. There's all the humidity and moisture off the coast of Africa. There it is near Florida, and everything in between is really dry, and you can see that very easily here. So that's what's holding everything back. It does appear. So if we put this into motion, this is the start, this is a week out, and we'll let this run several times. Look what happens. Over the next week or so, we start to add more and more of these tropical waves. You can see them very easily. There's one right there. You can see it kind of rolls in counterclockwise, tries to get going, so some moisture surge headed towards Texas. So let's outline that. It gets its start about right here and goes into Texas. Probably not going to develop much, but maybe some tropical wave enhanced rains. At the end of the forecast period, at hour 168, there's another one there. There's another one here. All right, and there's another one there. And there's another one getting ready to come off of Africa at that time. So the wave train is definitely there. And at the end of the forecast cycle, there's more moisture out there than we started with. And we're still only at July 25th, a week out, right? So it's getting there. And I'm going to use this more and more. We'll probably look at this once a week, and we'll see how things change. This is the model guidance. There's also precipitable water that we can look at from the University of Wisconsin, which gives us a real-time satellite snapshot. And I think that's what we can look at. Let's do that on Monday. That'll be a good starting point. So we can keep track of how that moisture is, because I think from what I've been reading, it's the sinking air, the dry air, what we call subsidence, the dry air too. Sinking air leads to dry air. And that's the pattern we are in. And once that lets go, it's time. And the hurricanes are going to come. And then they're probably not going to stop until sometime, honestly, in November. And you need to take that to heart. And mentally and physically and fiscally, money-wise, that's the money term, fiscal, prepare. All right? Mentally, physically, and fiscally. Seriously. Economically, be sure you are ready in whatever capacity you can be. And we're going to address that on Wednesday. I'm going to talk specifically about preparedness, just a little update. And that's Wednesday. We'll get to it. So I'm going to take tomorrow off and just kind of work on some other projects. There's not much to talk about anyway, so let's all take the day off and maybe do something fun with our family, friends, whatever. Just try not to spread that virus if you can help it, that we can get back to normal. That'd be great. That's my piece of advice related to that. So whatever you do, just don't go to any big parties, all right? That's all I'll say about that. But do take care of yourselves, seriously. If you're not there on the other side of the screen, from me, what good is it for me to be here? So I want you safe and sound. Have a great rest of your Saturday. Like I said, I'm going to be off tomorrow. Not off, but no update tomorrow. And we'll hit it hard on Monday, and then on Wednesday, look at preparedness and some other things. And then it's almost time. It really is. We're going to be getting there pretty soon. So anyway, have a great rest of your Saturday. Like I said, I am Mark Setheth. As always, thank you for tuning in for HurricaneTrack.com. I'll be back with you on Monday.